Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Puro Pinche Sports. I'm your host, Jose Garza. And tonight, I'm doing something a little different, something I haven't done since the podcast started. And also, for example, if you've been following the podcast, you know we did about 26 audio episodes, and now this is episode 12 of the video. We hit sports like MMA, basically UFC, basketball, football. We've touched a little bit about soccer and other stuff like that. Tonight, I want to hit a little different. I'm going to hit professional wrestling. That means WWE, NXT, stuff like that. AEW, later on, maybe one day, I'll do that, depending how I feel about how this video goes. And the reason I'm doing it is because growing up, for a lot of guys, and mainly guys, right? Like, not many girls, I would say, like, for at least me growing up, wrestling was a big deal once upon a time. And for me, it still is. Like, I still watch WWE's Monday Night Raw, SmackDown. When I can, I'll catch AEW Dynamite. If you remember TNA, it's right now Impact Wrestling. So I'll watch, the clips of it on YouTube. And, of course, I watch WWE's NXT, which is on Wednesday nights. So I wanted to just go based off a little there, try it out, see how this video goes with it. If y'all like it, cool. I'll do more maybe later on. If not, I'll stick with what I got. But at least I'm going to give it a shot. I'm a big fan of wrestling. Always have been. My first glimpse of wrestling was WrestleMania 15. Next week is WrestleMania 37. So that tells you how long I've been watching. Didn't really grow up too much into the whole Attitude Era, the Monday Night Wars, the WCW versus WWF. My mom couldn't afford cable. She was a single parent. Just to give you a little backstory to it. And all we did was watch, shows that were on the antenna. So on the big box TVs, I know much of the younger crowd doesn't know what that is. Big box TVs with freaking rabbit ears. That's what I had, and all we got to, I got stuck watching was a bunch of novelas, which is, showed up on channel 41. But occasionally when I could, I catch some wrestling either at a friend's house or if I skim through the channels through the box, which is really weird. And there's those channels that are like staticky. I could catch a glimpse of some wrestling, and that's how I did it. That's how I ended up watching WrestleMania 15. Like a lot of cutting in and out, but I was able to somehow see it. Don't ask me how, just it happened. It worked. Been a fan ever since. So now that I gave you my little backstory, how far back I've been, a wrestling fan, let's get to the topic for tonight. So I wanted to do predictions video for the upcoming NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. I want to do predictions for that. The reason I'm deciding now to do it is because next week is WrestleMania week. It's pretty much like Monday Night Raw, the WWE Hall of Fame, NXT Takeover night 1 and 2, then SmackDown, then WrestleMania night 1 and 2. So I just want to do a little predictions video. I'll most likely be doing a WrestleMania one as well later on, probably in the middle of next week. I won't be doing reviews for any of the shows, just predictions, just to see how it goes. It's just a feel out. So without further ado, guys, let's get started. The first night has 5 matches. If you don't know many of the names that are going on right now, guys, it's cool. NXT is technically the 3rd-tier brand of WWE, but it's very talented. Like, it has a bunch of great talent that can wrestle, ground game, power game, high flyers, shit like that. So I'm looking forward to it. So the first match that I want to discuss was the Gauntlet Match. Now, there's going to be a Gauntlet Match. It involves 6 wrestlers. They are going to be pretty much fighting for an opportunity to challenge for the NXT North American title. That match won't happen until night 2. This is night 1. So we got Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott. I know it only says Swerve Scott at the bottom. Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis, and LA Knight. And if you know who these guys are, you know how talented they are. If you don't know much about them guys, check out a few clips. They're pretty good. I mean, they're freaking fantastic. They're young rookie guys. This is their time to elevate for the most part, and this is what this match is for them. Now, between these 6, the one with the most momentum, who has a feud kind of with the current champion Johnny Gargano, is Dexter Lumis. He's got the Stranger Things kind of theme for theme music for when he walks out. And he's got nothing but creeper vibe all over him. He's going to be 5th in a gauntlet match. And gauntlet matches are pretty much, it starts out with 2 guys, which in this case, it'll be Leon Ruff and Swerve Scott. Then whoever wins that match has to deal with the next opponent, and so on and so forth. LA Knight's the guy who's coming in last. Dexter Lumis is coming in 5th. My prediction is Dexter Lumis is going to come out on top, and he's going to challenge the champion Johnny Gargano on night 2. Leon Ruff and Swerve Scott, they're like cruiserweights. They're small. Like Leon Ruff's really small. Like the dude looks like he's 110-pound man. I mean, geez, tiny, but he's got skills, so I'll give him that. Bronson Reed is like, they're trying to make him like a Godzilla character, but he's like 5'9", 5'10", so it's like he's big, but he's not intimidating like a giant, like, you know, Big Show or Andre the Giant or King Kong Bundy or Yokozuna. He ain't intimidating like them. He's like a mini fridge compared to to them would be a refrigerator. So Cameron Grimes is he's probably the most entertaining fool out there right now. His character is pretty much this hillbilly character that just invested a lot of money in GameStop and all that shit that was going on. So he's rich. And so he's very entertaining. Dexter Lumis, like I said, creeper. LA Knights, your LA typical, I'm cool, all that shit character. So I'm going with Dexter Lumis to win. See how that match goes. Next match, 2 technical wrestlers. Fantastic. One from Japan, the other being from England. That is Kushida versus Pete Dunne. Very technical matchup. This is going to be limbs, fingers twisting, just it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be like a lot of pain per se. And this is what these guys are going to do. They're for the older fans. I would say, like, if you love technical wrestling, you love the Chris Benoit versus the Kurt Angles versus Jericho, the Eddie Guerrero versus, Eddie Guerrero was like a technical high flyer. So those matchups, not the cruiserweight high flying. You won't see that much. I mean, you might see a little bit from Kushida, but you won't see that much. It's going to be a fun matchup. Nothing too big. Show stealer, maybe? Nah, not compared to the rest of the card, nah. So, prediction for that match. The one who needs it the most right now is Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne was a guy who held what is called the NXT UK title now. It was the WWE UK title before. He held it for almost 2 years, like about over 600 days. Crazy impressive record. And mind you guys, like if you watch wrestling today, you know that year-long reigns is very rare. So for a guy to almost reach 2, props. But yeah, Pete Dunne for the second match. Third match, we have the NXT Tag Team Championships, the triple threat match. MSK, a team that used to be in Impact Wrestling, formerly known as TNA, versus the Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. Fantastic 6 competitors. If you've been following the story, MSK and Grizzled Young Veterans have had a good rivalry going on for about the last 2 months, since the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. MSK won it. They are technically the real #1 contenders for the tag titles. The problem is, a few weeks ago, the tag team champions, one of them got hurt. So they had to vacate it. So the plan was, let's put in these other 2 teams in there. Let's make it happen. They're high flyers. They're ground and pound brawlers, technical wrestling, tag team wrestling. If you loved tag team wrestling, like Hardys, Edge and Christian, Dudleys, shit like that, but doesn't involve tables, ladders, and chairs in this case, you'll love this matchup. MSK is the hot team right now that's undefeated going on right now. Legado de Fantasma, I feel like they're only in this match. They're only put in it so they can take the fall. So they take the 1, 2, 3, to protect the other teams. And because of that, the way I just said it right now, I'm picking grizzled young veterans, 2 Brits who are just nasty when they get into the ring and just hurt you. James Drake, Zach Gibson, just new champs right there. Grizzled young veterans. Please watch NXT, guys. Like, if you want, like, even if you watch Dynamite or if you don't watch, record it and watch it later, because the tag team division there is hot. You won't hear me saying that on the freaking Raw or SmackDown. The NXT UK Championship match. Let's talk about a man who's been holding the NXT UK title for over 2 years. He's the record holder, Walter. Big, man, big. Like, just, he's not like ripped. He's just big. And his hand, he's known for his big ass chops, worse than the Big Shows, I would say. And he just crushes your chest. Powerful man, great worker. He's facing off against Tommaso Ciampa, which is one of the best, if not, like, I wouldn't say the founding fathers of NXT, but one of the foundations, the pillars that, when you talk about NXT, he's one of the men that held it up. One of the men that really fought hard. It makes you like love it. Multiple leg injuries, multiple neck injuries have held him back, unfortunately, but he's still one of the best. He hasn't been pushed as one of the best, I would say, in the last year. So I don't see much of a title change here. Walter's the champion. I think that reign's going to stay supreme. They have a little story going on right now where Tommaso Ciampa's tag team partner actually used to be a former teammate of Walter's and his faction known as Imperium. So you might see a lot of involvement of that. You might see, Anchor, Marcel, Thatcher, Killian Dane, Alexander. You're going to see a lot of interference most likely in this match. Still be good, fantastic, just like all the rest. And the main event for night 1 is the NXT Women's Championship match. Io Shirai, who's held the title since like May or June, and Raquel Gonzalez, which is like the young upstart that is running through the division, the women's division right now. Don't really need to talk much about that. We're talking about a high flyer versus a strong woman, a powerful woman, powerhouse, high flying. I'm going with the powerhouse, Raquel Gonzalez, to become the new NXT Women's Champion. Now, going off into night 2, guys. So basically, it's going to be another 5 matches. There's a reason why they split it up to 2. In case you want to check it out, night 1 will be on Peacock and the USA Network, on wherever you're watching the USA Network, right? Streaming, cable, whatever you call it. A little highlight of the Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon ladder match, which was a unification intercontinental title match. We're going to have Jordan Devlin, the reigning Cruiserweight champion, NXT Cruiserweight champion, versus Santos Escobar, the interim champion. The way that happened was when the pandemic started, Jordan Devlin happens to be a man of overseas. He lives over there. I believe he's Irish, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry if I don't know everything there. It's because he usually wrestles over there. I believe he's Irish. Sorry if I'm mistaken. So he was overseas during the whole pandemic, so he couldn't travel. So what NXT did was, let's have a tournament. Santos Escobar was the winner of that tournament, and he's been champion ever since. It wasn't until like about a month ago Jordan Devlin came back overseas. Once they started over there wrestling again, he started wrestling as well. So now he's here. Now it's WrestleMania week. This is the match where I believe can steal the show, which is crazy because 2 of the next 4 matches I speak about can also steal the show. But I think this one might be it. It's a ladder match. We're involving 2 cruiserweights, and if You love the Cruiserweight division from back then. You're going to love these guys. These guys are fucking crazy. I mean, this is going to be really good. Champion or challenger or interim champion. NXT right now, there's an NXT and NXT UK. NXT UK only has 3 championships. NXT has 6. Because of what I just said right there, I think Jordan Devlin, who is an NXT UK competitor, will win the match and become the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight champion. And he will walk out a takeover with the title, and he'll take it overseas, and he'll compete over there. And then whenever a new challenger comes up over here, they'll duke it out for it. Jordan Devlin really didn't have much of a chance to be a real champion because of the pandemic. He wasn't able to wrestle. Like, WWE kept it up here, but the international, the Europe restrictions, they just didn't allow it for the longest time. I don't believe they even went back and to compete again until like maybe September. Anybody who commits to watching NXT UK, let me know in the comments or whatever, but I believe that's correct. So I think Jordan Devlin's going to get the fair chance to be a real champion, and I think, like I said, he's going to take the title over to UK and have it there. Santos Escobar is such a great talent. You can move up into the North American title picture, and he has his own faction, so he might in the next year challenge for the NXT championship. So we'll see. Next match, talk about the NXT North American Championship. Johnny Gargano, the champion, 3-time champion, versus TBA, but in this case, my TBA will be Dexter Lumis. I put TBA right there because I didn't know. Maybe I'll change my mind during the talk. Like I said, it's been Johnny Gargano. He has his own faction. It's called The Way. It involves himself, his wife, Candice LeRae, Indi Hartwell, and Austin Theory. Now, Dexter Lumis is a guy who doesn't talk. Dexter Lumis is a guy who almost draws out his feelings. It's the funny looking drawings, like the characters. Y'all know what I mean. Big head, little body, driving in a car and shit like that. Dexter Lumis is that kind of guy. He's a creepy guy. He's a stalker. He's a guy who'll kidnap you and put you in his van for a few days. Weird. He's gotten into the minds of Johnny Gargano's two, his students, the ones he's mentoring with his wife. Indi Hartwell's in love with Dexter Lumis. Austin Theory thought they were friends. It's kind of weird. It's all psychological going on here, and because of that, I'm gonna go with Dexter Lumis as a new champion. He's on the older side. He's late 30s. He's been around. He had the same stalker creeper gimmick in TNA when he was chasing after Chrissy Hemme. He's popular with the fans, so I think he'll win the title and he'll have a fair reign until the next guy up. So Dexter Lumis, new North American champion. Let's move on. Speaking of The Way, they are challenging for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Now, these titles have only been around since a month ago. WWE really messed up their women's tag team division, so they had to create another championship. Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart are technically the second ever women's tag team champions. They won it on the first night the titles were introduced against the declared champions, Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. Should be a good match. Shotzi Blackheart and Candice LeRae have had technically a rivalry going on since September when Candice LeRae ran over Shotzi's tank. She comes out in a tank. It's kind of cool, different rocker girl, fun, crazy, awesome. Candice destroyed it. They had several matches along the way, war games, singles matches, tag team matches. So this is a good culmination of their rivalry going right here head to head. They're pretty much been 50-50. But because Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart just won the titles a month ago, and the division is technically just being established in NXT, I don't see a reason for the tag titles to be switching right now. Candice and Indi will have their opportunity. I think they should be the next champions in the future. But this is Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart's night. And I'm going to say the women retain their titles, or the champions retain their titles. Co-main event. The best story going on in NXT right now. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. Talking about the Undisputed Era. The Undisputed Era was the best faction at NXT ever. You can't argue it. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roderick Strong. 4 men who just crushed it. All became champions. They won all the titles. The North American title, the tag titles, the NXT title. They had it all. Once pretty much they all lost the titles, and then they had their feud with Pat McAfee. Things started to die down a little bit slowly for them. And, they kind of were honestly relegated to the background for just a little bit. Like, not too much. Kyle O'Reilly was getting a singles push at this time while the rest of the guys were getting, pushed back. Just to make him like a credible threat for the NXT title. Because Adam Cole, who was a leader, he was the guy dominating. He was the guy winning the NXT title. He had it for over a year. He was the best thing in NXT. And Kyle O'Reilly was the tag team guy. He would tag team with Roderick Strong. More importantly, he would tag with Bobby Fish. That was his main partner unless Bobby was hurt. And for the last few months, since October, all the way till now, Kyle O'Reilly's been doing his own thing. Bobby Fish got hurt, so it was the best opportunity to do it. Expand on, other guys in the group. Kyle O'Reilly had good matches with Finn Balor, who is the current NXT champion. So he really showed his own to the fans of NXT. If you're not a hardcore fan, if you don't know about Kyle O'Reilly, he was an amazing tag team and single star in New Japan Wrestling and Ring of Honor and in the indie scene. He was good. People who had been following forever knew about it. But if you're a casual WWE fan and you're watching him, you just know him as a tag team guy. So this is a great way to introduce him. Have him have great matches with Finn Balor. This is while everyone was either sick with the COVID or hurt with stuff. So perfect time to build him up. Because of his rivalry with Finn Balor, he gained mutual respect, and he kind of wanted Finn Balor in Undisputed Era. Adam Cole did not. Adam Cole said, "Fuck this," knocked out both Finn Balor and O'Reilly, and started the end of Undisputed Era. He kicked out Roderick Strong. He kicked out Kyle O'Reilly. Now they're ready to go at it, and they're going to destroy each other. If you've seen their previous matches, if you haven't, look it up. Wars. I mean, battles, that blood, hard hitting. I mean, these guys they're best friends in real life, and these guys will beat the hell out of each other. So it's beautiful to watch. I think it's going to be a great showcase. This is my match of the night. This is my match of the whole TakeOver event, both night 1 and 2. Kyle O'Reilly is the one they're building up right now to be the future singles champion, the NXT champion. So I'm going with Kyle O'Reilly, but it's going to be good. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Cole wins. But Kyle O'Reilly is my pick. I think that's fantastic matchup just to go there. And then the main event of night 2, the NXT Championship. The 2-time NXT champion, the first ever WWE Universal Champion, former 2-time Intercontinental Champion, Finn Balor, the Prince, takes on Karrion Kross, this big giant man who will hurt you with judo, with Muay Thai, beat you up real good. I mean, when Karrion Kross came over from Impact Wrestling, he was Killer Kross over there. But since he became Karrion Kross here with his girlfriend Scarlett, just been dominating. He's undefeated. He hasn't been pinned. He hasn't been submitted. He actually became NXT champion before. He beat the then champion Keith Lee. Problem is, in that match, it wasn't dislocating his shoulder. It was bad, by the way, his injury. I think he tore his rotator cuff or his bicep. Either way, it sidelined him for only like 3 months, and he came back quick. Like an injury that takes about 6 months, he came back quick in 3. So in that meantime, after he had to vacate the title, Finn Balor won this match with Adam Cole. He is the champion. He's been successful with it, even going through broken jaws, broken bones, injuries with his matches with Kyle O'Reilly, with Pete Dunne, with Adam Cole. Now he has his match with Karrion Kross, a man who never lost the title in the first place. And at TakeOver, he's going to regain the title. He will defeat Finn Balor. And it'll be a really good matchup. But this is a match that should not be even questioned of which way it should go. It should go Karrion Kross. He's the next hot thing right now. Vince McMahon will look at this man and say, let's bring it up to Raw, let's bring it up to SmackDown, and I'm going to make him my next Brock Lesnar, right? So we'll see how that goes. I mean, he's really good. He's got the look. He's got the entrance music, the entrance look. I mean, him and his girlfriend Scarlett just kill it with their entrance. So it's going to be a good matchup there. But I expect a new champion. Well, guys, that's NXT TakeOver. Stand and deliver. Those are my predictions for those 10 matches, nights 1 and 2. It's a little different, like I said. It's wrestling topic. I know not many people think wrestling should be considered a sport. It is sports entertainment. So, yes, the punches are fake. Kicks, I mean, you really want them to kick each other? I mean, Jesus, they're wearing boots. Yes, the matches are set up for how it goes, but you got to give the credit to these wrestlers, guys. Like, they're talented. There's a reason why, they can do it, but a guy like me couldn't, or maybe like my friends that, who would say, it's fake and all that stuff. We couldn't hang with those guys that train for what they're doing right now. I mean, maybe if we trained it ourselves, but yeah, no. Give it the respect, guys. Don't call it fake. Story, is it predictable? Is it, is a story written for who wins and loses? Yeah, but what they do in the ring, the bumps, the jumps, all the shit they do, that's real. Let's give them credit for that. If it's your cup of tea, cool. Watch it, enjoy it, fun. Make fun of them when they mess up bad and it's obvious as hell. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. It's cool, but don't knock anybody who does. I watch it. I'm not going to knock you if you do. I mean, it's fun. It's a great show. Follow the podcast, guys, on Instagram at Puro Pinche Sports Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at PPS_podcast. Subscribe, like the video, share it. Spread the word, guys. If you're a wrestling fan and you think other wrestling fans would enjoy this video, let them know about the video. So, with that being said, guys, I am Jose Garza. I am the host of Puro Pinche Sports, and we are out.